The Child Protection Center is a dedicated nonprofit. We've been providing services for the past 34 years, working in the prevention, intervention, and treatment of child abuse. We work as part of the child welfare system that includes law enforcement, the state attorney, and the Department of Children and Families. At the Child Protection Center, we are the experts, and we work with law enforcement in the front end of these cases, conducting what's called a forensic interview, where we're sitting with children and finding out the details, the who, the what, the number of times, what did it look like, feel like, even taste like, all those crucial law enforcement information that's necessary for a criminal aspect of a case.
For me as sheriff, touring the facility 3 years ago to really gain an understanding of the importance of the Child Protection Center to law enforcement and to the employees that do these cases within the sheriff's office, and how important this organization is to them. And this organization is highly important, not just for the detectives to have what they need to get the information so a case can be prosecuted or investigated properly, but that the detectives who work under the sheriff's office, under me, are healthy emotionally, so that they know that the child is in good hands when they're done doing their investigations, and they have somewhere to leave the child, and know that the child's going to be safe, secure, and have that opportunity to become have the therapy and the case management that they need to be able to become a child again.
Having to work a criminal investigation while dealing with the emotional pain what the child or the children in the case are going through is very difficult. One of the things that I found over working these cases for 10 years that really assisted me was I knew that when I left a child here at the Child Protection Center and I walked back out those doors, I knew that I didn't have to worry about that child. I knew that that child was being taken care of, that child's needs were being met, that I knew that that child was now on a road to a better recovery. It gave me the time, the opportunity to be able to go out and basically solve the cases and battle child abuse without having all that baggage following behind me.
After this Child Protection Center provides services, whether it's those front-end intervention services with medicals, interviews, or it's the therapy, oftentimes we're going to be asked to testify in court. These cases do go to criminal court, and we work with the state attorney's office. One of the things that we're asked to do is to defend the services that we provide and the interviews to withstand that judicial scrutiny for successful prosecution in these cases.
Hello, my name is Ed Bronsky, and I'm the State Attorney for the 12th Judicial Circuit, and I am here to tell you that the Child Protection Center is an invaluable asset and a resource to our community and to the prosecutors at the State Attorney's Office. I think every day the Child Protection Center makes a significant difference in our community and makes a direct impact in protecting our community, our children, and our families, and is a valuable asset to law enforcement and to prosecutors in the courtroom. We rely very heavily on their expertise and their assistance in working with children that have been victimized by sexual or physical abuse, and they're partners that we work with very closely alongside with law enforcement.
My job as the prosecutor is to go into the courtroom and convince a jury that this very horrible act that happened in secret, with the only witness being a child, that it happened, and I have to prove that beyond a reasonable doubt, and that's very difficult. And you think about calling a child witness to the stand into a courtroom. What we ask the children to do is they have to come in to court and they have to swear to take an oath, and they have to describe this very private, very embarrassing invasion of their privacy, and they have to describe that in a courtroom in front of a judge, in front of bailiffs, in front of the clerk, in front of sometimes an audience, and in front of the person who did that to them. This litigation occurs well after the event, years after the event. So the Child Protection Team helps with something called a forensic interview. And that is a recorded interview that occurs when the child, close in time to when the child first reports the abuse, and it happens in a child-friendly environment where the child is able to open up. The child has someone sitting across from them at their same level and asking non-leading questions and in a way that is comfortable for them. opposed to what they have to go through in the courtroom. And so we are able to show those interviews to the jury. And when the jurors have to determine whether or not this act occurred, it is so powerful for them to be able to see the child open up when they don't have the pressures of the courtroom, and to hear the child describe exactly what happened to them in that moment when their innocence was taken away. And so what we do, we work with the Child Protection Center during the time that we prosecute the case, and it's so helpful that they are tending to the needs of the child. They provide therapy, they provide us insight into how the child is doing emotionally, and give us some tips on different ways to approach the child so that we can do it in a way that makes the child more comfortable. Working with Dr. Kelly and the Child Protection Team therapist has been extremely important to getting to successful conclusions to these cases.
When that initial call is made to the hotline and the report is generated, it comes back to our community. And that really begins the process of our involvement with the Department of Children and Families.
The role of the investigator is to really go out and gather information and try to put it together and determine whether abuse or neglect has happened. And in many cases, we need to access some experts in the area, and that's where we come to the Child Protection Center for various services. We often ask for multidisciplinary staffing to be hosted at the Child Protection Center, and in that way we can bring together all of the professionals that are dealing with that family, as well as the CPT professionals who have either done forensic interviews already or had done medical exams, and bring their expertise to the table so that everybody is hearing the same information and we have the opportunity to make major decisions about the cases. We're very fortunate in Sarasota County that we have excellent working relationships with our law enforcement agencies, with our state attorney, as well as with the Child Protection Center. And the Child Protection Center may be the glue that keeps us all together.
Key to our success as an organization is the leadership and direction of our effective board of directors. And we're very fortunate to have a dedicated board that has great vision and leadership. And key to that is Gracie McGillicuddy as our board chair. She has been our long-term visionary and leader for many, many years, and her leadership has benefited not only this organization, but the children of this community and throughout the state.
I got involved with the Child Protection Center way back when, 26 years ago. It happened to be on Main Street then, and then it moved over to the Human Services Center for 17 years. And I got involved with the Child Protection Center because I read this absolutely horrendous case of child abuse in 1986. I've been with the Child Protection Center now for 26 years as a volunteer. And I have to tell you, I've watched the evolution of this amazing organization. And it wasn't really until we got here to 720 Orange Avenue where all of a sudden people are asking, what do you do in that building? And we fight child abuse. And child abuse has been a secret. It's a well-kept secret. Not every child's going to have an idyllic lifestyle, but they should be safe, they should be nurtured, they should be protected by the people that are supposed to care about them the most. And that's why I'm here. And I'm working with the best group of people and the best organization in the world to make that dream come true.
At the Child Protection Center, we couldn't do what we do if we didn't truly believe we make a difference in the lives of children. And we have been able to sustain staff over long periods of time because of that belief in the direction of the staff and the board of directors and the support of you. And I just want to thank you for making a difference in the lives of the children and families that we serve.